Imagine your child was killed by the police under suspicious circumstances, and imagine the police will tell you nothing. What suspicious circumstances? Just to give context to everything that will follow here. The forest was being cleared in an unprecedented crackdown against protesters. The police went to the forest that morning planning for violence. You can see it in the City of Atlanta videos. They formed firing squads, multiple officers with weapons drawn. It was a powder keg, and the moment there was a lapse in judgment on anyone's behalf, there would be death. That was what was guaranteed when they were clearing the forest of these peaceful protesters. To that point, no one had injured a law enforcement officer. No one had attacked a law enforcement officer. And yet they went to clear the forest of sit-in protesters at gunpoint. They did reconnaissance on the site. It was a planned operation. Yet no one had a body camera when they shot Manuel, or so we are told. The larger context of this unprecedented crackdown is the domestic terrorism charges and the use of the state's force to quell dissent. This is an alarm. This is terrifying. People are sitting in the DeKalb County Jail right now who have no factual basis for the charges against them, at least none that have been articulated, simply because they were charged with domestic terrorism. None of the people in the jail right now have an allegation that they threw a Molotov cocktail, that they lit a construction equipment on fire, that they shot off fireworks. None of the allegations we heard were specific to any person, and yet we have 21 people in the DeKalb County Jail denied bond. This is continuing. This is ongoing. This is intimidation by the state against dissent. Is this what Cop City is going to bring to our city? Is this the type of policing that they will be training for raids, to serve arrest warrants at gunpoint and group meetings? Do they want us to be scared? Because people are scared. The family is scared.
As we explained in our first press conference on February the 6th, the DeKalb County Medical Examiner's Office conducted the first autopsy. That's an autopsy which has not been released, and the family has had no access to it. On January the 31st, at the request of the family, forensic pathologist Dr. Chris Sperry conducted a second autopsy. Today we released the whole autopsy report. We are here today to talk about what we learned from that autopsy and demand the release of the investigation conducted by the Georgia Bureau of Investigation. What did we learn from this autopsy? We learned that Manuel died from multiple gunshot wounds. We knew that already. Manuel was shot so many times and by different firearms that the tracks of the bullets running through the body converge and intersect. That means that the same parts of his body were shot by different officers. The autopsy identifies 14 separate gunshot injuries. Manuel was shot in the head through his right eye, in the left upper chest, in the abdomen, in his arms, and in their legs. The hands were all shot up. According to the autopsy, the wounds indicate that Manuel's left arm and hand were raised when Manuel was shot, with the palm facing the front of the body. Manuel's right forearm and right hand were also shot. The gunshot to the head would have killed them instantly, but probably, in the words of the report, not before they were able to raise their hands and arms in front of their body, like that. The wounds to the legs are consistent with Manuel having been shot while they were sitting down cross-legged. Manuel was likely shot by individuals, according to the report, standing in front of them relatively close. Manuel was looking death in the face, hands raised when killed.
When inconvenient information came to light, the GBI decided to interfere with the Atlanta Police Department. It wrote the APD a letter asking it to stop releasing videos and other material related to what happened that morning. Mind you, the GBI, as we've already discussed, had no problem releasing selected videos, even from the arrest last week on March 5th, within 24 hours of those arrests, and had no problem releasing other information about Manuel that they said conformed to the narrative that they were putting forth. Also, in addition to the GBI, the Attorney General's office sent a letter to the City of Atlanta advising it didn't have to release the records to the family. It appears there has been a coordinated campaign to silence the City of Atlanta, and it worked. The APD then refused to release the rest of the recordings in its possession to the family or to the media. Manuel's family deserves answers. They need answers to what happened that day. And it is our job to try and get the information that is necessary to find those answers. So when the GBI intervened and the City of Atlanta stopped providing the records that they were promised to provide, we had no choice but to file a lawsuit to secure those records under the Georgia Open Records Act. Without truth, there can be no reconciliation. Without truth, there can be no justice. Without truth, this family can find no peace. We ask the APD to release the rest of the recordings in its possession.
My child, Manuel Esteban Paez Terán, was killed here in Atlanta on the 18th of January 2023. We still do not know anything. It was killed our most beloved family member and the most caring person that any group of people could have, and there is only silence. Manuel loved the forest, gave them peace. They meditate there. The forest connects them with God. I never thought that Manuel could die in a meditation position. My heart is destroyed. I invest so much time, care, and dedication to educate my children to become active members of a society. I gave them love and compassion as tools to make the world a better place. I deserve answers.
Even amongst friends and family, the narrative the police have laid out is believed. My life has been frozen with Manny being guilty until proven innocent. All of this is occurring while people are terrified of police escalation. I can't even attend a vigil for Manny without 10 cop cars showing up or a low-flying helicopter showing up to intimidate us.
My child was an upstanding individual that gave his life for others. They gave his life for his ideals. They defend the environment. They convince others with conviction and also with understanding, and never with violence. Do not get surprised that people from different states of the Union, indigenous communities, and several countries of the world are coming to Atlanta to give their support for the first environmental activist assassinated in Atlanta, state of Georgia, United States of America. This multitude of people that support us as a family and cry with us as one, they are not terrorists. Georgia Bureau of Investigation, GBI, stop manipulating the information about my son's assassination. You keep us, the family, the community, and the world in total dark about what happened at the forest in January 18, 2023. I have a different narrative about my son. He is a hero. We demand information to our attorneys so we can proceed with a real and independent investigation.